The wounds are still fresh from this loss. 96-87, the Clippers take this one to the Orlando Magic. We're hopping on a post-game quick to go over everything that happened in this game, why the Magic lost. We really thought they were building some momentum, but unfortunately the same problems that they've been trying to run away from, not just their shooting, reared their ugly head in this game. The Magic had this in the first quarter, but then after that, weren't able to really build anything up. The Clippers took it in the very end. We're going to talk all about it, what exactly happened in this 9-point loss. The Magic moved to 36-40 now on the season. But guys, welcome in. This is Magic Digest. I'm your host, Patrick Previty. This is your one-stop shop for Orlando Magic basketball here on YouTube. Trying to build an Orlando Magic basketball community. And 75% of you guys watching these videos regularly, make sure that you subscribe. Join the 25%. We're trying to hit 1,000. We're getting there. We're under 60 now away. So let's keep it pushing, get to the final push. Okay, so the way that I want to explain this game is actually from halftime, because this game didn't really, there were some themes to this game that didn't stop. There wasn't a difference at the half that is the big deal here. It was the fact that there was no difference, if that can kind of make sense. If we look at what's going on with the Clippers right now, Kawhi Leonard started the game out slow. Zubac had a double-double at halftime. James Harden kind of didn't really have a ton going, but Norman Powell was able to pick it up, and there's no bench production for the Clippers, okay? So they're not shooting the ball well from three, and they are getting clearly a lot of rebounds. Now, every other statistic doesn't really jump out to you. The 11 turnovers is very interesting just because that wasn't really a difference maker too much in this game, but the Clippers did slow down turnover-wise as the game progressed. Okay, let's look at the Orlando Magic at halftime. So they also had 9 turnovers. So 9 turnovers to 11 turnovers, nothing crazy. They were also shooting in the mid-20s for threes. And Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero had 16 and 11 at half, which is a pretty decent percentage. But again, no bench production. Both teams, I believe, had under 10 points for the bench. And honestly, for the entire game, both teams really did not have much going for their bench. It was just Anthony Black. We see Tristan da Silva was not in the game. And Jonathan Isaac, Bataze clearly kind of taking a back seat. Wendell Carter Jr.'s got 2 fouls to this point. He would eventually pick up a 4th foul at midway or later on in the 4th quarter, but he wasn't really in foul trouble. They were just going with Wendell Carter Jr., trusting him. Corey Joseph, as you can see, didn't really have much offense going in the first half. That ended up changing a little bit. He was able to provide somewhat of a spark in the second half. KCP ended up actually shooting perfect for the game, so this loss nowhere near on him. Okay, now let's take a look at the final box score. As we can see, Magic didn't have a ton of turnovers, had 4 in the second half. Obviously, they'd like that total number to go down a little bit, but nothing crazy right there. Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner both shot a ton in the second half. Paolo Banchero had 14 shots. Franz Wagner had 9. That's kind of the usual stuff that we see. Corey Joseph had an uptick in his points, was able to get to the line a little bit. KCP didn't miss a shot, but what we really noticed is Da Silva got 4 minutes for the entire game. Jonathan Isaac and Bataze, those minutes didn't really increase much. Bataze got 5 minutes in the second half. Jonathan Isaac got 3 minutes, and we see every person in the starting lineup got a massive amount, and Anthony Black didn't really do much in the second half. He couldn't score the ball for this game, and his shot was just off, 3 of 10 from the floor. Caleb Houston wasn't able to provide that spark. He wasn't really all that aggressive. Anytime you end with 10 points from the bench, that means that you're probably not going to win that game. And also, the three-point shot stuck at the same spot that it was in the first half, 25.9%, but that didn't do this team in. It's the rebounds, 32. Keep an eye on that, or remember that number, because we're going to keep an eye on the rebounds for the LA Clippers. This is why they won this game. Zubac, if he can get 20 rebounds, almost a 20-20 game, Kawhi Leonard came around, James Harden came around, then well, you're going to lose to the Clippers, even if they only put up 96 points. Even if you hold another team to under 100, if you can't get to 90 yourself or grab a rebound, you will not be able to win. Unfortunately, the Magic fell into both of those categories tonight. And despite the Clippers shooting 8 of 31 from 3, they weren't able to hold on. Free throws were about even. It was good for the Clippers that they were able to take care of the ball more in the second half, but there were so many opportunities for this Magic team to really take it, and they just didn't have enough firepower to go with it. And when they weren't getting the rebounds, it just wasn't going to happen. The Clippers didn't get a ton of offensive rebounds or a ton more offensive rebounds than the Magic. They only got 5 more. But just simply put, if they're going to have more possessions, or that the Magic's misses aren't going to there's just not going to be any second chance opportunities because those misses are coming, then that's kind of deflating. And when it fell on Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner, just wasn't enough. We didn't get enough from them in this game. We didn't have one of those performances. If either of those guys had gotten to 35 points or something, the Magic probably do win this game. If Franz Wagner maybe can turn it around a little bit from 3, maybe that would be the difference. If Paolo Banchero didn't start the game 0-5 from the 3-point range, then maybe this game is different. But this loss certainly isn't on those guys. 1 of 8, 1 of 7. They combined for 2 of 15 from 3. That's just extremely tough work. Corey Joseph, KCP were the only players on this team outside of the main 2 guys I just mentioned to hit a 3. They had a little bit going from there, but Wendell Carter Jr. also didn't provide enough. Our leading rebounder was Paolo Banchero with 6 rebounds. That's when you know there's an issue. Franz had 5. Carter had 5. Corey Joseph had 5. But it wasn't like a dispersal thing by committee. Zubats out-rebounded pretty much the starting lineup on his own. I mean, not completely, but almost got there. And that's a terrible sign. That was, unfortunately, the story of this game. So now the Magic fall to 36-40. They had just recently tied the Atlanta Hawks. Now they are a full game back as I'm looking at the standings as is right now. 36-40. The Hawks are 36-38. I think it's safe to say right now that the Hawks are going to hold on to that 7 seed. I don't really think that this Magic team is all that capable of catching them, and then I'm sure the Hawks are well aware that they that they have that 7 seed and they want to stick there. They don't want to play that extra game, or if they can help it, and they'd like it to be at home as well. So the Orlando Magic now are still 1.5 games ahead of the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat are 34-41. So right now the Magic got 6 more games left in the regular season. Hopefully they can put together a better, some more momentum, a better April, if you will, than March. They're going to have at least 7 games, or at least 8 games, I would say, right, with the 2 play-ins if they lose the first one, to hopefully right a lot of the wrongs for this season. Coming up, they have the Spurs tomorrow. It'll be another back-to-back. It'll be the second to last back-to-back of this season. They'll have another back-to-back coming up soon. So after the Spurs, we got the Wizards, Hawks, Celtics. Hawks and Celtics are the next back-to-back. After this one tomorrow, Pacers, and then the Hawks again. There's a chance to control your own destiny, certainly there, but I don't know if the Hawks are going to lose enough games in between that time period to give the Magic a chance. Maybe there's something there, or maybe if we know that we're locked in against the Hawks for that last game, both teams just sit. And they don't want to show them anything. They don't want anybody to get hurt. And they know if this team's going to play pretty quickly after that Sunday, April 13th game in the play-in, well, they're just going to sit. I imagine that's probably what's going to happen. But it'll be interesting to see what Jamahl Mosley decides to do with that. You play a team 3 times in about the span of a week. It's essentially a playoff series. We got them on the 8th, the 13th, and then, 2 days after that, I'd imagine, or maybe a good chunk of time after. But you play them 3 times in that short amount of span with a lot riding on it. I think one of those games are probably going to end up sitting some of the players, not trying to show the hand or whatever. But I don't know if the Hawks are going to give us any chance to overtake that position within the games that are still left. And they certainly are aware that the Magic are, coming in and they're going to play them twice. So, unfortunate loss. There was some positives certainly from this game, but another loss. I'm going to send out a poll, so keep an eye on that for the best game, the MVP, and the overall grade for the month of March, just like we usually do. So make sure to vote in that and the community tab, and then we're gonna kind of go through some of that month in the next video that I make after the Spurs game tomorrow. So it should be a lot of fun. But thank you guys so much for watching, sticking around. Make sure to subscribe and like this video. It certainly helps the channel out, and I appreciate it a lot. I'll see you guys next time with more Orlando Magic basketball content.